Welcome back to Switcher South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash, as always, in proud collaboration with Change Cars and all things motoring. And once again, I'm back with another review. And again, I'm back with the manufacturer. It's the first time on the channel. Today, I'm inside the Lexus RX 450H, the H standing for hybrid. And I'm gonna tell you every single thing you need to know about this vehicle, from the exterior look of the vehicle, interior look of the vehicle, overall drive of the vehicle, cost of ownership, because it's expensive, but when you look at the competition, it's cheap. Then I'm gonna tell you if it's worth it. And it might be, it might not be, but for you to find out all that stuff, stick to the video, and then yeah, I'll see you guys when I tell you about the exterior. So when you start with the exterior look of the vehicle, when you look up front, the first thing that you're gonna notice is this sharp fin nose type of design that Lexus went with this vehicle. Then you're also gonna see the grille design. What do I think about that? Not really a fan of this. I feel like it's a bit too sharp. It reminds me of a certain fish. So yeah, I'll put the fish on the screen and I'll tell you what, if I do find it. It reminds me of that. And then the grille, I don't mind it, but when you step back and you just admire the vehicle, let me get out of shot so you guys can see what I'm talking about. When you step back and admire the vehicle, it looks good. In the silver color, it looks good. So I do like the front end of the vehicle. And then you get these LED headlamps. So your headlamps are over there, and then your daytime running lights also double up as your indicator. So I like that about the vehicle. Overall, the look in front looks good. It's unique to Lexus. And then you get your fog lamps down here, your fog lamps down there, front sensors around here. So this car does have adaptive cruise control. It has 360 view camera. So just underneath the Lexus badge, there's a camera there for you up front. And then the front just looks so good. Then you get a huge bonnet here. So this houses your 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine that this car uses, and then I'll speak about that. Then when you move to the side profile of the vehicle, you get these lovely 21-inch alloy wheels. And I personally do like the design of the wheels because it stands out for this one. So this is not the F Sport model. There is an F Sport where it looks a bit more sportier, because this one, when you look at it, it's a bit of like on the luxurious side of things. So there's an F Sport where it looks the part, like the F Sport looks very sporty. Then obviously get like black wheels. The part where this one is chrome on the F Sport, it's blacked out. Then when you move with the vehicle, when you get to the side profile of the vehicle, this is where you start to look at that this vehicle is actually not high, but long. And it puts me in a bit of a tough place to, where do I fit this vehicle? I'm sure you guys are thinking, what does it compete with? Does it compete with an X3? Does it compete with an X5? Does it compete with the GLC? Does it compete with GLE? And so this is bigger, longer than an X3, but it's bigger and longer than an X3, but smaller than an X5. So some point in the middle, but because of the space and what the car offers, and you'll see when you get inside the interior of the vehicle, I personally, and pricing, can't take this car and compete it with an X3. So I can take it and say it's an X5, but at that, pricing as well comes into play. But the side profile of the vehicle looked good, long, obviously the 21-inch alloy wheels. Then over here you get your petrol cap. This is the petrol side. No, this is the way you charge it, my mistake. So this is where you charge it, an AC charger here. This is where you charge it, since being it's a plug-in hybrid. Then where you pour petrols on the other side of the vehicle. And then moving on to my favorite part of the vehicle, the back. Let me step out of shot so you guys can see the back properly. It looks so good. I really love the back end design. It looks good, it looks the part. And for me, I think what makes it look so good is how simple it is, in terms of obviously the light and also the design of the lights. Like the light doesn't start here, this starts over there, comes all around, right through across to the other side. Then instead of a Lexus badge, and the Lexus badging is the letter L, I'll see it on the key. Yeah, just the letter L with a circle. Instead of that, they just write Lexus. And it's simple because it's just 5 letters, and then the model and everything. Yeah, so RX 450H plus all-wheel drive. I don't mind it much in this vehicle because there is not, it's all on one side. I think that's why I don't mind it, because you obviously get your Lexus here, that information there. If they had said Lexus, told you that it's an RX model this side, and said 450H, that would have been my gripe, it would have been a problem. Because if you look back to the previous video, Audi, oh yeah, Audi has the logo here, and then it says Q3 this side, and then it tells you 35 TFSI on this side. So for me, those that have seen my talk about that on the channel, you know that I don't like that. So I think the fact that they've kept that and that over here and kept this part open looks good. I like it. That's why then you get your park sensors here, you get your rear view mirror over there, and then over here you also get a camera. That's for your rear mirror. Yeah, your rear mirror. So your rear mirror doubles up as a camera. You'll see when you get inside the vehicle. But yeah, I think with the back of the vehicle, my favorite part of the vehicle, it looks good. It's my favorite part. I can't keep saying it's my favorite part. But that's with regards to the vehicle, on the exterior of the vehicle. Let's get inside. Let me tell you why this car is something that you guys really need to have a think about. And then, yeah, we'll go for a drive. Now, when you move and get into the interior of the vehicle, this is where it becomes a party. Well, firstly, sunglasses off. You get a sunglass place over here. Unfortunately, my glasses seem a bit too big, so they might not fit. Well, I stand to be corrected. So they fit. Then you get this big touchscreen infotainment system which supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And guess what? Yeah, you guessed it. Wirelessly. So these wires are just here to charge my phone and all that stuff. You get that. You get a digital instrument cluster up front. A lovely steering wheel. Because of the vehicles that I've been driving recently, this steering wheel is a bit too, it's on the thin side of things for me. Took a bit of getting used to with regards to that, but everything else feels perfect. The quality and the finish of the steering wheel feels good. You get pedal shifters, they feel good as well. You get your touch buttons on the left hand side, your cruise control settings on the right hand side, and then you get your hooter. Very premium. I like that. Then you get this Mark Levinson sound system. So I've always heard about the sound system, people telling me that it bangs, and after experiencing it, it does bang. So it's a 21 speaker sound system. So you can imagine 21 speakers in this. It definitely does the most. But that's with regards to here where I am. The seats feel good as well, and they have this leather finish and part suede finish as well. So I like that about vehicles. I like that about these seats. I like that manufacturers do that in terms of the seats. I like that. And then you get your power button over here, your climate control. Oh, it's also within the infotainment system. Just a few things like for you to sync the climate, for you to switch on your aircon, for the fan speed. But the important thing in terms of your what do you call this, your picking your climate in terms of how hot or cold you want it, that's this rotary dial over here. That's fine. Your volume button is there. Move to the lower end, you get two USB ports here. Those are the ones that are actually plugged in right now for charging my devices. And then you get this tray underneath where it opens up, and then you get another type C port there. So that's three type C ports up front. Then you get a USB type A port there with wireless charging. There's quite a bit of storage there. You get two cup holders over here. One side of the cup holder, you can actually push it down to fit larger bottles. And then there's a button that says push on the side. You push it, it raises. Then you get this unconventional gear knob. Then with this gear knob, why I say what I'm saying is because to move to drive, you need to shift right, then down. That's drive. To move to reverse, right, then up. To move to park, you just press the park button. Why can't I just go to drive down, to go to reverse up? Like, but at the end of the day, it's a Toyota, and you know Toyota automatic gearboxes never go straight down or straight up. If you look at your Hilux, your Fortuners, most probably you guys that are watching have been in those vehicles or have driven those vehicles. You'll see that to move from park, you must first to drive. Same thing with the Corolla. Actually, from park you go. So for me to expect Lexus to be simple in terms of the gear knob, I think I'm expecting too much. But that's where I am. You get your auto hold button over there, and then you can cycle between hybrid, and you can cycle between using the engine and using the battery. That's if you have battery. We'll speak more about that in my driving impressions of the vehicle. But other than that, up front where I'm sitting, I think I've covered the most important thing. Wood finishing around over here, wood finishing on the dashboard over there. This suede finish up here feels good on the headliner. I like that. This big glass sliding panoramic sunroof. And oh, something that I find a bit weird, and everyone that has gotten into this vehicle found very weird, and it's just Lexus, I think, flexing their power, I guess. The door handles, like you don't get actual door handles. So I think if you can see there, this button, press, it opens. Right? You press, it opens. But if the car dies out of battery and there's not enough battery for you to open, you can just press like that, press again, it'll open. Don't ask me how I know that when there's not enough battery in the vehicle. Don't ask me how I know that the door won't open like that. You need to open it differently. Don't ask me how I know. But that's where I am. Let's move to the back, because the back is also a very cool spot. Like, I'd love to be in the back of this vehicle, but unfortunately I can't be two places at once. Oh, there we go. I thought it was not going to open. Oh. So moving on to the back seats. Like, this is where it's a very nice place to be. As much as driving this vehicle is nice because it's so comfortable up front, even at the back. So this seat is set at myself. I'm driving behind myself here. Don't mind that, that's just the door closing the wind. So leg room, decent. Headroom, for me, it's okay. But anyone taller than me sitting here on this seat, we might have a bit of a problem. But to counter that, this seat actually does recline backwards. So it can recline back. Then it will give you a bit more headroom. But overall, even if you're sitting up straight like this, the headroom is on the tight side of things. So if you're taller than me, you're going to have a bit of a trouble with this vehicle. And that's caused by this gaping glass sliding panoramic sunroof. If that wasn't there, a bit of headroom would have sufficed. But I personally, this must always be there. If a car has an option of this, fit it. But that's with regards to where I am at the back. Feels good. You get heated and ventilated rear seat. So it's heated, it's cooled, that's good. You have a Type-C port for yourself, Type-C port for that side. So overall, the car has 5 Type-C ports. There's 3 up front, 2 here at the back. Then your climate control, you can choose your temperature. The only thing that you can't do is your blowout speed. So if it's set at 1 up front, you at the back is set at 1. If it's full blast up front, it's full blast at the back. As much as you still can control the output of it in terms of closing and opening your vent at the back. Then yeah, I think that's about, no, that's not it. Why am I saying that's it? That's not it. Then you open here, you get your cup holders. There's a button, pops out. Then you can put your drink there. Oh, I'm addicted to this. I love Powerade. So if Powerade, if you guys are watching, help a brother out. So you get your cup holders there, and then you get storage. You lift that up, you get storage over here. You can put whatever you need to put there. Close it, and then you also get through loading. Wait, I didn't close that. You get through loading. What is through loading? Hold on. Through loading is if I have, example, give me a second. I told you guys I'm gonna bring back the camp chairs. So I have a camp chair. So let's just say you have something as long as a camp chair, or longer than a camp chair, I should say, and you want to load it. You can load it through from the boot through here without hindering the people at the back. So you can still fit 2 people. Not all vehicles have this, because some vehicles, when you are loading and you want space like that, you have to drop 1 seat on this side, or 2 seats, or sometimes all 3. Some don't have, you can't just drop a middle seat. Have a look at your own personal cars that you guys actually have. You will see that it's not all cars that have through loading. So that's very good. You get ISOFIX points here. That's for your car seats, also on the side. Let me just check if the front seat has. Nope. No, you don't get ISOFIX point for the front seat. So you can only put a car seat at the back. Unlike the Q3 where you can put it in front as well. But I've told you everything here in front. Yeah, I think I can end the review because I'm tired of shooting, I think. Oh, we need to go to the boot. Tell you the boot, do the drive, and price. So, the boot. I don't like that. That's the first thing I don't like. The toot. Why are you telling me that I'm opening the boot? I know that I'm opening the boot. So yeah, the boot. You get a load cover. That's nice. Unfortunately, if you take this load cover off, there's nowhere to put it, because if you left under here, you get your Lexus bag. You get your Lexus bag with your cables for charging. and then your battery is that side. Well, your typical battery that you find in a car is here. The other batteries are underneath the vehicle. Then your boot, I'll put the boot capacity on screen. Looking at the fact that I've fitted 2 cam chairs now, I actually did load this vehicle up. So it does, for me, I think it's okay, considering that it's a hybrid, because hybrid vehicles don't have boot capacity because the batteries are sitting underneath the boot. So that's with regards to the boot. At the back, you get not a tow hook, you get a hook here for your plastic bags for grocery. On this side, you get your subwoofer there, and then you get your another hook this side. Then the seats. The lovely thing about the seats, you can control them from here. Just that it takes forever. So you press the buttons, they are going down, but it takes forever. Like I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 18 seconds, and I started late. So essentially, let's just say plus 20 seconds for those seats to come down. Then you can bring them back up. 1, 2, 3. Of course, I'm not gonna count again. That's with regards to the boot. The boot's gonna close before the seats get up. The seats only just finished now. That's something else. So the driving of this beautiful Lexus RX, obviously the first thing I'm gonna speak about is moving to drive is such a weird thing. But yeah, so the one that I'm in is the hybrid, plug-in hybrid. So on battery power alone, you are looking at a range of 66 kilometers on battery alone. And then on the tank itself, the car came saying 650, but I can guarantee you will not see that 650. You are lucky to get 500 kilometers, and I'll touch more about that in a bit. So under the bonnet here, you're looking at a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, mated to a CVT gearbox, and with battery assistance. So the engine up front, the battery at the rear, making this one an all-wheel drive Lexus RX 450 hybrid. So when driving, like right now how I'm driving it, if I had battery power, if I had battery charge, the car would be in EV mode. But when I do let off, it does go into EV. So that's a bit of a confusing thing. So what the vehicle does, it's always looking to charge itself just a bit in terms of, so that it has enough to move around in parking spaces and to start up. So essentially this vehicle always starts up in electric mode all the time. Battery power, it always starts in battery power. You will not start this vehicle then it kicks in the engine same time. It doesn't matter if, like right now, the car's telling me over there that I don't have any battery on kilometers of range, nothing. But on this left hand side, it's telling me that I have a bar. So the car will always just charge up maybe to 1 bar or 2 bars, just so that it has enough to maneuver around or to start up, and always start up in battery. And for me, that's where it's kind of a problem for me, because the car needs to decide, is it a normal self-charging hybrid or a plug-in hybrid? What I mean by a car needs to decide is that as an owner, let's just say I own this vehicle, I need to be able to know that when I do not have battery, I can run it on engine alone. I shouldn't have to worry about battery or anything. And the problem comes when, it's something I experienced with this vehicle, is I was parked, and in a normal combustion engine vehicle without battery, when you park and you're playing music, right? After 20-30 minutes, you'll start the car to charge up the battery, right? This being a hybrid, and I know how hybrids work, I started the vehicle because I didn't want to be doing that whole started after 30 minutes to charge the battery. I started the vehicle to let it run all the time. But because it always starts in battery alone, battery power, it'll start up in battery. Ooh, zebras. Unfortunately, the camera's facing that way, you won't see the zebras. So it'll always start in battery, so it'll be in battery, and then it'll shift to, maybe after 10 minutes, you'll hear the engine kick in, and then it'll keep quiet, and then it'll kick in, and then it'll keep quiet, and then it'll kick in, which eventually led to the vehicle not having enough battery to start and engage gear. So I was not stranded, but because my friends were there. But the vehicle was at a point where it didn't want to engage gear because battery was too low. So I had to jumpstart the vehicle literally within 5 seconds. Like immediately when you put the jumper cables onto the battery, put the car into drive, the car's fine. So it needs to decide what it wants to be. So that's where my gripe with this vehicle is, because when you look at other plug-in hybrids that I've had on test, like a Range Rover, for example, that one, when the battery is finished, the battery is finished. The car will not start in electric mode. When you start up that vehicle will start up with the engine. Then when you charge it and there's enough battery, that's when the car will say, I'll start up in electric mode. So it's a bit of a gripe for me. It's something that I found a bit of a problem. Now, the other part of things, in terms of the problem side of things, is the engine up front. And I personally would have wished that this vehicle is such a very good offering. I would have wished that it had a diesel offering, because diesels make sense. And in terms of this car will get the job done in terms of the whole long distance trip and all of that stuff. Now, looking at the specific unit, you will not get 500 Ks on just the engine alone, because it's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated, pulling a vehicle or pushing a vehicle that weighs over 2 tons. That's heavy. And it has a small tank as well. It has a 55 liter tank. There's a zebra up front. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. You guys are so unlucky. Oh, I can do camera. Focus there, focus. If you look there, you'll see the zebra cross. Hey, I want to look there. There's the zebra. I'm getting distracted. You guys will forgive me. Hey, man. Wait, can't I pick a side? I can, right? Okay, whatever. Let's carry on driving. But the zebras are there. So, where was I? Oh, yes. So, when there is no battery assistance and you're just running on the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, this vehicle uses a lot of fuel. It's telling me that I'm averaging 7.2, but I know for a fact I'm not averaging 7.2. I know I'm averaging more than that, because literally as you drive in, the range just keeps going down, the fuel just keeps going down. So you'll be lucky to do 500 kilometers on the engine alone. And that's where, for me, it's a problem, because this is such a very good vehicle. And for long distance trips, I don't want to do a long distance drive, then have to pour fuel again. But that's just me. That's just who I am. You find that if it was a diesel, could easily do around 700-800 Ks. That's a lot. That's enough, you know. So that's a bit of my gripe with this vehicle. Enda, this all. So that's my gripe with that. But overall, the vehicle is a great offering vehicle. It needs to stop doing this. When I go over a hump and then it brings up the camera. But overall, the vehicle, I've enjoyed my time with it. It's a very good car to drive. I think my main problem is obviously with regards to the engine. And that engine and battery power, I didn't speak about it, I'm speaking about it now. The engine and battery power combined produces 227 kilowatts. That is a lot of kilowatts, and you do feel it. It does go. The vehicle does go. The CVT-ness of the gearbox, not really, for me, it's not really a problem. In this vehicle, it works well. Only when you are flooring it, the camera. Only when you're flooring it, like you heard a lot of things move in the back. It gives power. It goes. I'm actually, in terms of power delivery, and everything else, I honestly don't have a problem with it. When you're driving now like this, it handles well for the size of the vehicle and the weight of the vehicle. It's fine. You put your foot down. I'm not gonna put my foot down because I'm on 60. Hey, speed limit, guys. Think I was gonna fall for that. But overall, the vehicle is a good car to drive. It's a good car to be in. The suspension feels good. I don't know on off-road how it would handle, but I'm pretty sure, as comfortable as it is on road, I'm sure off-road it will be slightly a bit uncomfortable because it's sitting on 21-inch alloy wheels. But other than that, Sandero, don't get in. But other than that, I think the overall of the vehicle is okay. It drives well. I do enjoy the vehicle. If Lexus can bring a diesel engine here, they'll be onto something. So now we've come to the end of the review, and this is where I speak about the price of the vehicle. So you can get into a Lexus RX 350 luxury for just over 1.4 million rand, and then it goes all the way up to the Lexus RX 500h. That one goes for 1.7 million rand. The one that I'm in, the one that we're testing today, goes for 1 million 6 Yeah, 1.6 million rand. And for me, honestly, looking at the car and what you're getting, that amount of money is worth it. And I think this is where, if you're looking at buying the German counterparts, have a look at this. So if you take this one that we're testing at an interest rate of 12.25% with no deposit, no balloon payment over a period of 5 years, which is 16 months, and you go through the change cost vehicle finance calculator, you are going to pay. You are going to pay 36,800 rand. It's been a while since I said such a number on the channel. Honestly, I can't say it's not a lot of money. I can't say it's a lot of money because of the vehicle that I'm testing as well. So to the people that have the money to buy or to spend, if you have 1.6 million rand to spend in and around that, this is a good vehicle to look at. If you're looking at an X3, new X3 is around 1.2, I think. Yeah. So if you're looking at an X5, for example, or a GLE or a Q7 is a bit big. But if you're looking around the Germans, basically, have a look at this Japanese offering, because this is a very good vehicle. I personally would buy it. The main issue for me, and I think this is a deal breaker why I wouldn't buy it, it's a plug-in hybrid. Give me the exact same car with a good diesel. You have my money. With a good diesel. It doesn't even have to be a V6 diesel, but with a good diesel that gives a good power. Lexus, you have my money. But the fact that it's a 2.5 liter natural aspirated CVT plug-in hybrid, you heard me speak about my issues with the whole engine part or engine side of things, why I wouldn't get it with that. So I think if Lexus, also looking at the country in South Africa, if you are looking at a bit of impact in the country, give us a diesel, because the counterparts, the Germans, have diesels. But I've told you what you need to know about this vehicle. Please comment. Please tell me, would you spend 1.6 million rand on this, or you'll get something else? Oh, I even forgot, you can get an XC90 as well. Or would you get an XC90? Would you get an X5? Would you get a GLE? Would you get an X3? Would you get a GLC? All those, there's a lot of cars in this price point. So tell me where. I'm giving you 1.6 million rand. Tell me where you spend your money. I know where I'm going to spend my money. And unfortunately, as much as Lexus has tried to sell me this vehicle, I know I won't spend it on this, because of that one important factor, the engine. But other than that, I'm Nicky Nash from CJ South Africa. I'm proud collaboration and change cars, as always, and all things motoring. I'm signing out. I'll see you on the next one. See, I keep looking at the vehicle because I like it so much. I'm not even looking at you guys today. I just keep. But yeah, I hope to see you on the next one. The next one is, oh, I know what it is. You guys will have to find out what it is. I'm signing out.